Welcome to JasonWhiskyWise. My name is Jason. Welcome to this whiskey review where today we're going to be looking into the new Aberlour whiskey, which is called the Aberlour Casg Annamh. Now, I hope I said that correctly because it is Scotch Gaelic, and this was actually sent to me, and as you can see, it comes like with the warehouse sort of doors, and then you've got a little bit of information over there, which is directly to myself, and I think this will actually probably join our display on the background with Mr. Bananas. Now, we'll open this one up over here, as I did try it yesterday just to make sure I know exactly what this whiskey is, its complexity, its depth, whatever character it does have in store. And it is also batch one, so I believe there's going to be batches going forward into the future. So I've got myself my glass. Let's pour ourselves a dram and talk a little bit about this. So this is also my 200th video on YouTube, because this year we've been doing a lot of content. So we'll celebrate with a little dram. And I also want to compare this one with the A'Bunadh, which is just over here. So Aberlour Casg Annamh, see exactly what the difference is between the two. And I know the price is also a bigger difference between that one, because that has gone up drastically in price. So here we have the Casg Annamh. Let's talk about it a little bit. It means rare cask, and that's from Gaelic. And the reason behind that is they wanted to use selective casks that they felt would be really valuing, and these casks being Oloroso sherry casks. Now, it is a new no-age statement whiskey. It's bottled at 48%, which is non-chill filtered, and it's also exclusively matured in the finest Oloroso sherry casks. Now, the distillery itself is the Aberlour Distillery. The parent company for them are Pernod Ricard, and they are located in the Speyside region of Scotland. And it's always a distillery. Whenever I'm up in Scotland, I always seem to drive past it. But next time I'm up there, I'm going to pay them a visit, as I really want to learn a little bit more about Aberlour. Now, in terms of the price point, I have seen it on websites and on auction sites at £55 for the bottle. So it's going to be kind of interesting, because the A'Bunadh used to be at that price range until it was then jumped up to around about £80 to £110 here in the UK. So it's kind of at £55 at the minute in the UK. Sometimes you can pick it up on offers as well, to what I've seen, but it's still quite new to the market. Now, in terms of exclusivity, it's not exclusive as it is joining the core range, but it will be exclusive as there is batch numbers. So this is batch number 1. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the nose. Beginning things on the nose with the Casg Annamh. Straight away, for me, I'm getting a lot of these darker dried fruits, but first is definitely a sweeter bread character. It's like you get this from sometimes the Turkish bakeries, and they just put a bit of sugared water on top of the bread to add this little sweeter element when it comes out the oven. There is a little bit of these darker fruits now, these dates, a little bit of figs, raisins. And there's even a little note under that of sugared almonds, adding a slight nutty character. Going back in there, there is also this really rich fruitcake mix. Maybe actual fruit cake that's just had some time just to sit there. And over the top of this, it's like fondant. And I have been doing a little bit of cake decorating, and for some reason, the sweeter fondant character really comes through on the nose. Really wrapping off this little bit of sweetness and these fruity characters. Let's get into the palate next. Slanger. As for the arrival onto the palate, you're getting a nice, rich, full viscosity in this whiskey, a nice rich texture as it's coating the mouth, and you're getting a sort of a mouth-warming presence, like a candied ginger, just eyeing things out. It has got a little bit of heat to it, but it's really well-rounded and integrated with these fruitier characters. You're getting a bit of blackcurrants, a little bit of liquid fruitcake, a bit of prunes. And then it develops that note that, to me, this reminds me of black licorice. And then you get into a little bit of a tannic quality. And that's, for me, is like prunes, but prunes with the skins, giving that little bit of tannins onto the palate. You feel a slight bitter character, and then you're greeted by this almost oily character, like an oily walnut. Really full on the palate, and it's really surprising how it really just develops more and more. Let's go in for the second sip, and we'll come to our conclusion on this whiskey. Coming to my conclusions next on the finish for this whiskey. I finished my dram, we're going to pop this down here, but I'm going to compare this one to the Aberlour A'Bunadh at the end. And in terms of the finish, it's got a nice medium long finish where you're getting a lot of these dried, darker fruit characters really coming through, these plums, these dates, these raisins, and hints of those blackcurrants following on from the palate. You're not actually getting any spice on the finish, which is really nice, as it's just a combination of these dark dried fruits and hints of a slight salty character and just a touch of marzipan on the end, just sort of adding to this flavor variety. So I did actually compare it off camera to the A'Bunadh, and this is batch 59. And this is something that, as you can see, I've actually gone through much more slowly, and I've been finding that one a little bit bitter. Because of the A'Bunadhs also have batches, some of them are hits and misses. This one, not a big fan of. But when it comes to the new Casg Annamh, that one has got so much more flavors which are more easier, and it's got rounder edges where I'm not getting any bites in this whiskey. So in terms of my actual rating, I'm going to give it an 87 out of 100. A really good whiskey. The only thing that I would say, if you like your Oloroso sherry characters or your Oloroso sherry whiskies, try this one out for starters, because this is something that I think they actually are trying to aim for beginners, but it's also something I feel people who are more experienced with the Oloroso sherry characters will enjoy. The only thing I feel with the price here in the UK at 55, I think it needs to go down by maybe £5 to £10 to around about 45, as that way it's a bit more approachable for people who are new into those sherried whiskies, and it really just gets them into it. That's what the A'Bunadh did, and it was a huge success. Now the A'Bunadh is at like £90 here in the UK. I feel that's a bit too much versus this one, which has just done a really great job. So Casg Annamh is going to get an 87 out of 100. Do I think it's value for money? Yes, but I think it also does need to go down by maybe £5–10. How does it fare out with water and also time? It does play with the two quite well, so feel free to give this one time, and it actually develops a slightly more sweeter palate, and that's not in the dried fruits. This is more in a confectionery sort of character. And in terms of water, play with this whiskey, as it does have a lot of complexity and it's quite versatile. So that was something really good about it. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you have, drop it a thumbs up. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel. Feel free to check out some other videos I'll leave on the screen. And this has been me, JasonWhiskyWise, Mr. Bananas, and we'll catch you for the next video. Sláinte.